Hey everyone! Welcome to another episode of Renton Reflects. When it comes to movies produced by Nickelodeon Studios, they usually try to work in some charm and ingenuity to their creative output, in an effort to bring appeal to a wide enough audience. But sometimes, even when you do have a creative idea, there is the possibility that it could suffer from development problems along the way. This movie may be one of those cases. The plot involves a high school student named Trip who comes across a giant slug-like creature with tentacles at the junkyard he works for, and he appropriately names the creature Creech. You see, Creech has a family that's been living deep underground, and an oil company known as Terravex had been drilling at the spot where Creech and his family were living in, unintentionally setting off an explosion and sending Creech and his two parents flying. Trip soon learns that Creech feeds off of oil and likes to hide under the hood of the pickup truck he's been working on. Upon discovering that Creech possesses unusual powers, Trip decides to modify his truck so that Creech serves as a makeshift engine of sorts, giving it that extra power. Trip also learns about Terravex holding Creech's parents captive, and as soon as Terravex finds out about Creech, they chase after Trip, in an attempt to protect their company image. It's a race against the clock for Trip to get Creech and his parents home before Terravex does something horrible to Creech and his entire subterranean family. At a glance, the idea itself isn't half bad. The main problem is that it suffered from weak execution. There isn't as much charm or subtlety put into the premise as I would like to have seen. There's a lack in its sense of humor, and most of the characters don't seem to leave too much of an impression. Not to mention that there were moments in the story's direction that I could see coming from afar. One might say that this movie comes off as almost pedestrian because of how stagnant much of the viewing experience is. Although I will say the visual effects were pulled off rather nicely, including that of Creech and his family. Something must have gone wrong during the film's development as well as marketing phases, because I feel the idea at least had some potential. On the whole, I would say that this is one family movie with an interesting concept, but definitely needed a major tune-up. On a scale between 1 and 10, I give this film a 5.5. It's mainly alright, but it could have been a lot better. And that concludes my review. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.